What's going on, everyone? It's Adam here from No Shelf Space, and today I'm going to give you a quick how to play video for Harmonies. This one is for 10 plus, for 1 to 4 players, and takes about 30 minutes to play. In Harmonies, you're going to be placing animals out onto your player board based on the terrain you built, and then scoring points both for the terrain as well as the animals as well. But let's open up the box first and set the game up. So let's get this off here. Okay, so first things first is you're going to have your player board, and each player around the table is going to get a player board. So we're going to set up just like that. Now we're going to take the box and we're going to set it off to the side, and we're just going to do this for the sake of the video. Okay, you're going to take this board and you're going to place it in the middle of the table, and you're going to point it to whoever the first player is. You're going to take your bag of pieces, give them a nice shuffle, and we're going to pull out 3 tiles for each spot on the game board, and probably best if you lay those tiles down so everyone can see what they are. So we're going to put 3 on each spot. That's not a great spot. Right there, just like that, and 3 here. And there we go. That is set up. We're going to go back into the box and we're going to pull out the animal cubes. These can be taken out and just set to the side within reach of all players. And then you're also going to want to get out the reference cards. It's not a bad idea just to give each player their own reference card for the sake of knowing what's going on. And then you're going to have this deck of, of animal cards, but we're not going to play. They suggest for your first game you don't play with these ones here. So before you shuffle them in like I just did, make sure you pull out these sprite cards because you're not going to need those for your first game. So then once you got your deck of animal cards, just give those a quick shuffle and put 5 face up so that they are within view of all players. And for the sake of this one, we will put them, I'm just going to move this off to the side, and we're going to put them right up here like so. And that is the setup. You are now ready to play Harmonies. In Harmonies, you're going to be taking tiles from this central board, playing them onto your personal board, taking animal cards, and hopefully fulfilling the requirements on those cards. So now that we're set up, let's go through a typical turn. Okay, on your turn, you have to take, you have a number of actions you can take. The first action is mandatory, and it is that you have to take something from this central board. So you'll have to take 1 set. And for the sake of this video now, I'm going to remove these player boards out of the way, and I'm just going to kind of focus on this board right here in front of me. So you have to take a pile of tokens. So let's say I'm going to take these tokens right here. And the reason why you might take different tokens is going to change depending on how the game goes. But you're going to take the 3 tokens, and then you're going to be required to put them into your landscape. Now, it's worth noting you should maybe look at the available animal cards, because as an optional action, you can actually take 1 animal card per turn. And if you take it, then it is yours and nobody else's. And remember, you're limited to 1, 2, 3, 4 animal cards at one time. Non-completed animal cards. If you happen to complete an animal card, then you can take another one. So for this situation, I'm looking at this card right here, and it requires to place the flamingo, I need to have 2 fields adjacent to a water tile. Well, I have 1 field and 1 water tile. So I'm going to take this card and I can place it above my player board like so. And I'm going to just push these other ones off to the side, and we'll draw a new one for the stack for the next player. Okay, so I might take these tiles here and I might place them out. Oh, maybe I'm going to place them out like this. And this is a trunk for a tree, and I can place that, anywhere I really want. And I'll place that, I'm looking at other available cards. They might or might not be there when it's my turn. I'm going to place it just right over here like that. Now, when you do take an animal card, there are 3 little spots on the card, and you're going to fill those in with these translucent cubes, just like that. and that's going to represent the animals. To finish your turn, you could place an animal. You can place as many animals as you want if you're able to, but right now, as you can see from my card, I'm not able to play an animal, so I can't take that. So I will draw 3 new tiles from the bag, and those will go onto the central board, and then play will pass, and other players are going to draw things and take cards, and we're going to refill that, and then the next player is going to take some stuff, and then the next player is going to take some stuff, all the while we are refilling this central board after each player's turn. All right, the game has swung around. It's back to me, and I'm looking at this, and I'm saying, okay, I need 2 yellow fields next to blue water. I have blue water. So why don't we take this right here? We're going to take this one. I'm going to have 2 more yellow fields, so I can put one of them right here because I need it. And I'm looking up here, and I realize that, oh, that's not a good example. I realize here that if I were to take this animal card this turn, I need 2 water adjacent to a 2-level tree with a brown and a green. So I can take this. Now I have 2 animal cards here, and I do have this other brown. So I look at that and I say, okay, I can put this right like that. Maybe later I can get a water there, and I can start working on that. And now I have this 3rd field. Now, there are ways that you score territories or terrain at the end of the game. So you're going to want to think about how you do this. For forests, you're going to score, for each forest you have, you're going to score a number of points. But a forest has to be at least 2. But if it's 3, it scores the same as if it's 2. If it's 4, it's the same as if it's 2. So maybe I want to start a brand new forest somewhere else. So I'm going to put that up there just like that. And I do have to draw 3 new tiles to refill that central board. All right, I took a card on my turn. You can only take 1 card per turn. So now I'm going to look, can I place any of my animals? And I can. So as you can see here is I have the heron. I have 2 fields, and I have the blue. Now, it doesn't matter how this is set up. If these 2 tiles were over here, this would still count. And if they were down here, it would still count. Even though the picture shows the blue to the right of 2 yellows, which is how I set it up, it doesn't matter. You can put it in any configuration. So I have it. So I take it off the lowest number, which is 4, and I place it on my board like that. And I'm going to score some points for this card at the end of the game. Let's say play goes around the table again. Of course, we have to have 4 cards out here for people to choose from. And so now we're back to my turn. And what's really cool here is I can take this. I'm going to take this right here. No, I'm going to take this right here. So remember, I have this situation, and I have this card here. And I've taken these tiles, and I can actually do some stuff now. I could theoretically place this right here, and I could place this green right here, which would fulfill this parrot card, which means I could take a cube. I didn't put them on there, but I could take a cube off of this parrot card and place it on here. But I'm not going to do that because I want to show you something else. Remember, each animal card will have 3 cubes on it, which means you have to place all 3 cubes before you can take the card off and open up a new slot. Because remember, again, you get 1, 2, 3, 4 animal cards total. So I can take this water and I can actually put it right there and place one of these. See, you can use terrain multiple times to satisfy 1 card. So in this situation here, I have a blue next to 2 yellow. So I can place a cube of my flamingo on the blue because there are 2 yellows there. It doesn't matter that this blue is also using those 2 yellows. That is not a big deal. A quick other thing, if I ever had one that required, let's say I have something that requires, this combination where you have to have a tree next to water, next to a mountain, just like that. And let's just say for the fun of it, we had put an animal here. In the future, if I had taken a building tile and put it on top of the mountain, which would be a legal placement, that doesn't negate the fact that I got to place that animal. Even though this animal's combination might not be here anymore, I still get it because it only matters when you place the animal. Later, if you manipulate, then you can change it and it won't matter. Now, what you can never do, though, is take a tile and place it on top of something that has a cube. That kind of placement is not allowed. Turns are going to go around and around the table until one of 2 things happens. The way the game is going to end is if this pouch ever is empty and when you need to refill the central board. So not when you refill the central board, but when it's empty and you need to refill. that triggers the end of the game. You will play even turns, and remember, you pointed this first player marker at the first player, so you'll know how you will have even turns. The other way is if there are 2 or less unoccupied spaces on your personal board, on anybody's personal board, that will also trigger the end of the game. And then we get into final scoring. Now I'm going to leave this set up like this, and I'm going to put some images on the screen over here to show you how final scoring works for everything, because it is a little bit confusing, but I'm just going to talk through it while the images pop up. For trees, you're going to score points 1, 2, or 3 based on the stack of trees. So this tree right here would be a 2 tree. If I had a brown tile over here, that is nothing. That is just a trunk. So this would be a 1 tree right here, and this would be a 3 tree. So this would score me 3, this would score me 1, this would score me 2. Mountains. The height of each mountain determines the number of points you score. However, a mountain is worth 0 points if it's not adjacent to another mountain. So I'm going to take this building off. If we had this situation here, this mountain would be worth 1 if next to another mountain. Because it's not next to another mountain, it's worth nothing. Now, if I had these 2 tokens right here, this would be a total of 3 points. Fields. You're going to score 5 points for each field formed by 2 or more field tiles. So this right here is a field. That would score me 2 points. This over here is only a single. That would score me no points. But if I had another field here, it would score me 5 as well. This doesn't score me 2, sorry, it scores me 5. And if this was like this, a 3, this would still only score me 5. For buildings, you score points for each building, but only if it's surrounded by at least 3 different tokens. Now, that can include a building itself. So here, this is a good example. If I had a building right here and a building here, it is surrounded by a green, a blue, and a red. That is 3 different types. So that building scores 5 points. Okay? And you only consider the top token on. So even though there are brown here, those don't count. You're just looking at the top token. And if you don't meet the criteria, the building is worth absolutely nothing. It is worth nothing and doesn't help you at all. Okay, water. There are 2 ways that water scores in this game. The one way is you will just have the longest possible river. Now, mind you, it's the longest possible river across the shortest path. So this is actually a 4-point river, not a 5-point river, because the shortest path is 1, 2, 3, 4, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a 4 river, but you'll just score your longest river. If you're playing on this, oh, sorry, this is incorrect. If you were playing on this board, like this would count like 4. Good thing I took a peek at the board. So if we had this, and I'm just setting this up for you, if we had that, that is a 4-point river on the land side of the board. If we bring everything back here, what you're trying to do is you're actually trying to create islands on your board. As you can tell, this is surrounded by water. So in the situation like this, if we had built a river like this, it's a nice long river, but it doesn't count that way. This way, you count points for islands, and you get 5 points for every island you've created. So in this situation, I have an island here, that's 5. I have an island there, that's 10. And I have a big island up here, and that is 15. You're then going to score points for the lowest number uncovered on your animal card. So this one right here would be worth 10 points, and this one here would be worth 0 points. If you've completely, and you don't have to completely get all the animals off the card. If the animals are on the card, if there's still one animal left, you just score the lowest unoccupied space, or the highest unoccupied space, and you'll score points for that as well. After that, you figure out who has the most points, and whoever has the most points wins the game. It should be noted that there is an additional way to play with nature sprite cards, which I've not explained in this video, but you can look those up in the rules available online right now, and I will link that in the description box down below. But there you go, guys. That is a quick video on how to play Harmonies. I hope that was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please put them in the description, in the comment section down below. I'd be happy to answer those. This is a very cute game. The production quality is top notch. And I'm very excited, and I can't wait to get this to the table a whole lot more than we already have. But until next time, folks, thanks for watching, and we'll talk again real soon. Goodbye.